Hi everyone, it's Marcy here from Stampin' with Marcy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Southwestern Ontario, Canada, and I'd like to thank you for pressing play on today's video. Today I'm going to be creating this card with you. This was a card that I created for my friend Kevin Thiessen for his summer retreat. So I'm going to be recreating it today with you as he gave me permission to do so after his retreat was all done. So Textured Floral Bundle. This is available in the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. We're going to be doing some ink blending with, my colors are Basic Gray for my sentiment, and then Lemon Lolly and Lemon Lime Twist. So let's get started, as this is going to take a little bit to get that ink blending done. Please pop on over to my blog to get all of the measurements as well as any of the product links that for all of everything that I used today. So, all right, I am using a dedicated silicone craft sheet for my ink blending. I'm just picking up. Let's move over just slightly so I am absolutely in camera view. So I've got my Lemon Lolly here. Love that name as well as the color. And I am coming in and going to try to get this done as quickly as possible. So I'm using a fair amount of pressure, and I am coming back in and putting my ink on the silicone craft sheet, as it's not going to waste as much of the ink as if you had have used just a piece of grid paper or scrap paper. If you're using that to get the heaviness off of that blending brush, you're wasting that ink. Whereas using a silicone craft sheet, as you can see, my ink is on there and I'm picking it up so that I can not waste, reload that brush. All right, flip that over so I can have a better look. And I'm keeping my ink down to that one corner because I'm going to use the same craft sheet for my Lemon Lime Twist. So you can go as heavy or as light as you want when you're doing this, and as much color or as little. It's completely up to you. Yeah, so anyhow, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button below, as well as that notification bell, so you don't miss any future videos from me. All right, so now I'm taking my Lemon Lime Twist and I'm going to the opposite corner. I'm going to flip that paper over, and I'm getting my brush nice and loaded. Now this is one of the mini brushes. I love the mini ones. I'm finding that I'm reaching for them more often. I don't have a ton of them, but the ones I do, I'm loving because you can get into smaller areas and maybe have just a smidge more control. So it's completely up to you what you're more comfortable with, but I love that we have the options. All right, so I'm just bringing that up, going heavy at the bottom and then bringing that color up so that there's no real demarcation line or anything like that where the two colors are meeting. And I'm going clockwise and counterclockwise so that my pressure is going to be more even by adjusting the direction that it's going. At least for me, that's the way I find it works better. So, all right, whoops. Now, I want to use up all of this beautiful lemon lime that's on that. So I'm just coming in and picking the rest of that up. Now, I'm going to set this aside for just a moment, and I'm going to bring in my insert piece, and I'm going to just add a little bit to the inside so it looks really super cool. Bringing that up. I don't always do much to the inside of my cards, but when I do, I'm reminded how much fun it is. All right, so now I'm going to bring in, and I've got the one leaf pattern. I'm going to stamp off and bring that on. And it's a super light shadow, but it's fun, and there's just that little bit of detail. All right, so I'm hoping the camera picks that up. All right, so I've got a bit of color difference here. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to close that up, get that out of the way, and come back, flip this around, and come back with my lemon lolly and add some more, because I don't like that line that is looking there. I don't want it like, I don't want to create a new color, but I do want a bit more depth right there where those two meet. All right, just about done this part. Okay, I like that. Right there in that corner, right there. All right, we're going to call that good. Next up, we are going to add that lovely little splatter, as you can see right here. So we're going to move this aside, bring in another silicone craft sheet. I've got just a clear block. I've got the smallest of the water painters. You can use whatever you want. I'm putting some water here on that block. I'm picking up now, and I'm taking and splatting with my bone folder. And the more color you have on that you've laid down, the deeper those splatters are going to be, the more noticeable. All right, can you see that? Oh, it's turning out lovely. All right, so let's set that aside to dry. Now we are going to bring this back in, bring our card back. We want to stamp our sentiment. So I have my sentiment strip here, and I like to use basic gray or one of the other grays that we have sometimes instead of the tuxedo black, as sometimes I find that the black is just too harsh of a color. So if I am using a gray, it's still a deep color, but it's not quite so harsh. I like the look of that better. Okay. Now I'm going to just angle and then angle. So we've got our opposite angles. Now let's bring in flip that over. So I am going to glue this down flat to that card front piece. So this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And I'm gluing it onto 4 by 5 1/4. And look at that vibrancy once you put that on there. Oh, it's just gorgeous. All right, so let's take our bone folder, fold and burnish. My cardstock base is thick basic white. And we're going to take our little insert piece and pop that in. And I do apologize, I've got lots of shadows happening while I'm recording today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, don't forget to pop on over to my blog for all of the measurements so that you could easily recreate this yourself at home. All right, so what I'm now going to do, I've already die cut my 2 bits. My, oh, there's some, I was die cutting black. So I've got some black little shards there. So I'm taking a look to see how high up I want this. I want them to overlap. Have that come down a bit. Like so, I think, and then this will be like so. So I'm now going to take, because I want to make sure that I don't mess it up, I've got some press and seal that I have taken the heavy stick out by using my pants. I put it on my pants and give it a rub a couple to pull it off, and then do it again a couple times. So that way it's not gonna rip my cardstock. And I'm not putting glue all over the entire both die cuts, because I want some movement with my elements here. So if you don't glue them down solidly, if you leave some of those sprigs without glue, they're not gonna be flat on there. You're gonna get a little bit of movement, as I like to say. All right, so I've only got a little bit, and we are going to flip you over and place that in the center, and that looks fairly good. Being careful not to move it because I don't want glue streaks on this. So I'm just going to very slowly and carefully peel that back. This press and seal is fabulous. I love it for doing things like this, especially if I've got more than just the 2 elements. And see, they are lifting up off and looking lovely. All right, next up, we are going to take some Stampin' Seal, and I'm putting it down here at the end. by the where the word heart is, and I'm taking a piece of the white baker's twine and I'm winding it around my fingers, and I don't want it to be a perfect circle. So I'm going to then place that like so and put that on top. And there we have our fun little detail. Now we're going to grab some dimensionals to pop on, and then one in the middle. And pull those backs off. Here we go. Get off. And then place that right over here. And then you can kind of adjust that piece. Kind of move it as to how you want it. And then maybe give it that little, oop, that didn't do so well now, did it? There. All right, and then we're going to take more dimensionals, only this time I'm using the big ones because I want it to pop off the front of my card, not be glued flat. So I'm adding a lot of dimensionals to the back because I don't want it to be saggy in one area or another. And these are a fairly reasonably priced item. I go through these like crazy. I'm just using my take your pick tool to help pull them off quicker. Bring this in. And get right on my tippy toes here. Actually, if I open it like that, get on my tippy toes so that I can make sure that I am fairly straight. And then the last thing we need to do is add those beautiful iridescent pearl basic jewels. These are my embellishment of choice. I love these things and use them quite frequently because they are so little and unassuming, yet add that pretty bling sparkle to your project. And I like to use my take your pick tool to pick it up. And I also, if you're new to my channel, I like to use a, whoops, now I've got a big glue smudge. I like to use a dot of glue to help hold my embellishments securely, so that way they're not going anywhere. They are going to be exactly where I put them when they reach their destination. All right, that is today's card. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below. Leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. YouTube really likes that. It's how they know that the creator's content is liked, and they will then put it out there to more people. If you haven't yet, please share my video. Sharing is caring, and it's how I reach more crafty friends, customers, and team members. All right, thanks so much, you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.